if you're not in the room, you cannot win the prize. Tell me who is number 21. 21. 21. What number you? That's me. 21. Now, that's 25. Okay, not in the room. Draw another number. 29. 3. Number 3. Here we go. How's that for a putt, huh?
Alright, Dennis, you ready?
Yes, ma'am. Alright, if y'all take your seat, the next presentation by Dennis Bunker is on marketing and choosing the best marketing opportunities for your business. Dennis comes to us courtesy of doctor's orders not to travel and not to go out and not to speak to anybody, but he's decided to go ahead and speak anyway. So he'll be coming to you over the speakers. We don't have a picture of him, but y'all can. He's not too hard to picture.
Alright, is this
He
still
looks
running,
just like
Dennis?
Scott Lim. What's that?
Does this run on its own, or do I need to click through?
It's run on its own until we get towards the end, so I'll let you know. Okay, everybody ready?
Alright, we're on the first page.
Okay, morning everybody. I was there, unfortunately, sitting here in doctor's orders. The purpose of our discussion today is to give everybody a little assistance on how they should advertise and get the best bang for your buck. I've gotten into this industry. I've noticed that a lot of guys spend time, rightfully so, learning about the right equipment and the experts like people make decisions. But the whole litmus test is how many bodies we're able to attract services. I'm sure all of you agree with that. So the intent of our presentation today is just give you a sort of a global view of what's available out there. I'll get into specifics later on in terms of pricing and what my recommendations are. I spent 30 years in this industry, know it pretty well. And the reason I got into the same industry with all of you was probably for the same reasons most of you did. I won't be my own boss. I was an executive working for other people, and because let my wife, you don't want to tell me I'm stupid. So with that, let's get going. I put up a sheet that lists 10 reasons to advertise, and real important. And for any of you that doubt the value of advertising and what we do, I highly encourage you to take a moment and look through these and determine advertising dollars you spend are going to come back to you. We're going to talk about the strengths of newspaper. Start with some of you have newspapers in the communities that you live in. It's no secret that newspapers are hurting right now, and that readership is declining. That tends to be more pertinent in bigger markets, but in mid-sized markets and smaller markets, or some of you might live, there's probably still a strength of newspapers. Newspapers are purchased to be read, that's true, so there is a little more value to that. The newspaper is read by what I think is my target market, and maybe your target market, in that it goes to the people that are 35, 40, and over. It is not a way to reach the younger crowd, but at least in my market, they're not my target customers anyway. Newspapers do give you a degree of geographical flexibility. You could choose to purchase with them. Those are freestanding single-sheet flyers. You can zone down to a zip code level if you need to. The newspapers allow you to do a specific build business slow. If you want to hurry up and get that in, newspapers have a short deadline cycle, so that's going to allow you to be responsive to lulls in the business. And it also gives flexibility in terms of what you put in your ads. You can do a ROP ad, which is a ad. You could run a insert if you need to. And they also, if any can co-op advertising funds, that's rather limited in our field, but if you are, newspapers are really good at making sure that reimbursed. Now, what's some of the limitations of newspapers? Well, one is they have a declining readership, but that's an opportunity for everybody in the room. because it gives flexibility and some leverage trying to get better rates from the newspapers. One thing I might recommend is that when you're talking to whatever media you're talking to, that you ask them about a remnant buying program. That means last minute, your ad's put together, ready to go, and you tell them that for a last minute opportunity that you expect a substantial discount. Now, if any of you are asking me, well, what do you think a substantial discount would represent? It could be anywhere from 20 to 50% off of your ad. Now, keep in mind, the newspaper is good for one day and one day only. If you're going to get real fancy with your advertising, it has limited art capability. And also, if we're usually independent operators, they're just employees at most. That's going to control how much money we have to spend. May not be able to get a significantly large size ad, and you don't want that are advertising. So let's talk about radio a little bit. Because radio is offering deals left and right, and they should, because they're hurting right now. Because there is a value to considering a radio station, just because it's going to be pretty cheap. It will allow you the most immediacy. It's here right now. Somebody's listening to it. They're hearing your ad. Of course, almost always listen to radio in one form or another. And if you've got a target audience that maybe often it's got a high country western popularity, you can buy a station that's got that kind of theme. Compared to TV, radio is low. Radio is adaptable. Of course, still they're going to tell you they won't want to put your voice on the radio. They do that to do what's called an ego cell, and that comes into a cable TV. They're going to try to tell you you're better looking than you really are, and you look younger than you do, and you get up on the screen. Don't be lulled into that when you're evaluating radio and cable. And other than internet, going back to video, we need to realize that other than the internet, people spend more time with radio than any other form of communication in today's world. And if you want to run a special, again, maybe you got some radio spots that have been put, and you want to get your drum up some business or slow here, you might announce a 2-week special on power washing. If you do window cleaning to complement it, to try to drum up some business. You don't have to spend a lot of money to do that. Radio doesn't have the prestige that it used to. It's not all powerful. It does offer an oral message, but it doesn't do anything for the eyes. Usually people are doing something else while they're listening to radio, so you have to consider if it's something you can buy in tight cheap. Radio stations are willing to deal like a camp. Now, the next area of discussion, we're talking about strengths of TV. And TV is really more than cable, because unless you're one big operator, you're not going to be able to afford the cost of TV. Cable is cheap. They're desperate. They've been hit in the teeth like everybody else in the economy so they're offering 50 to 75% discounts on cable TV. However, when you're talking to somebody about cable, then you write yourself a note, ask them when they're going to run the spots. At 3 o'clock in the morning, probably not going to do you much good. Also find out content is that they're going to put your spot by it. Another typically is they're going to give you a run of the station schedule in exchange for, again, that run of the station schedule, and they're going to do that in exchange for telling you they're going to give you a low cost. And your response should be, that's fine and good, but you'd like an idea of when your spots might be on cable. That's the same. Again, get lulled into this, getting your face on the TV and putting all your eggs in one basket with a cable TV. That's not a well-balanced advertising program, and we'll be. Now, the cost of it is not very expensive. Cable's so prominent. Mine that you're also going to be not sure what your audience is, either audited or way to measure that. Now, magazines are not a bad way to go. Have a magazine in your area that has a theme of home improvement in the spring, I would highly encourage you to consider being in there. The time of it is very strong. The readership of the magazine will have an extended shelf life. Keep it around their house for a period of time. Maybe when they're ready to make a decision relative to our services, they'll be ready to respond. That's where the editorial content comes in. For something that's home improvement based or homes driven, something that's going to have a comment to what we do. Magazines, especially if it's glossy, shiny, will give you a better opportunity for quality reproduction. And generally, if it's a magazine, it's going to have a little bit better demographic. Coming to an audience that has a little more disposable income, maybe a higher ticket offer complimentary services if you do windows, or you can actually do more services rather than just do the roof. You might be able to do the whole house, driveway included. That's this kind of audience is going to be able to do that more readily. Now, magazines can be costly, so you got to evaluate what their circulation is and the cost is. And the barometer to use for that is figure out what your cost, ask them what their circulation and distribution is, and try to evaluate a cost per thousand. Okay? And then an example would be a $1,000 ad, and they go to 1,000 homes. That's $1 per household. You want to typically get down into a cost per thousand of anywhere from a nickel to a quarter. A nickel to a quarter per thousand. Now, direct mail advertising is the most selective of all media in a couple periods. Keep in mind there's solo direct mail and then there's shared direct mail. Now, I don't recommend that initially you go into solo direct mail, a controlled, very small audience, 500 to 1,000 at a time. It can be more expensive. I find and have found for clients throughout my career and being in this business now that direct mail shared allows you to share the cost of the printing and the processing with other advertisers. In that book, it's one of the best ways you can advertise. I'm going to give some examples of different recommendations for direct mail advertising in a couple of minutes. Make sure that there's a sense of timeliness with your offer with direct mail. You have to fill in the consumer the necessity to buy now. So I encourage you to make it whatever you're advertising. You might put in a special time offer. I don't know, whole house launching gutters free this week. You know, first 50 reservations, first 20 reservations, something along that line that will get a sense of urgency for the consumer. And on direct mail, and it's real easy to analyze. You're going to be able to figure out how much calls you're getting, if you're doing any sourcing on your advertising, and then you'll get to figure out how many of those are converted. It's going to help you understand, because there's different direct mail chances out there. It'll help you understand maybe a certain type of product in you, maybe like an envelope, mailer like Valpak, which is just an example. Maybe Valpak's just giving a lot of tire kickers. They're just shopping you for price, and they're not all quality. Now, that may not be true in your individual markets, but that's just an example. So you want to make sure that if you're doing multiple forms of advertising, even within direct mail, make sure that you source how you spent your hard-earned money and make sure that people are responding and on which offer. Now, some direct mail is that for those folks that are looking for editorial content, there's not going to be any. unless it's magazine that's direct mail. That's got advertising. Now the flip side of that is if they're willing to spend money, are looking in direct mail with the intent to look for goods or services. So you've got almost a pre-qualified market. Now, in direct mail, you got to anticipate a percent to a percent and a half. That's the national average. If you get anything better than that in your market, you got a hell of a product that's well read. But that's what can determine if you're going to be your response rate. That's a number that's been a truism in direct mail for 30 years. Percent to percent and a half. Now, outdoor advertising, in some, not a bad way to go, especially if you're going to complement it. This is a form of advertising with, if you're doing direct mail. As an example, you might be able to buy a billboard for 3 months. I'd say, look in your mailbox. You may make sure local, my suggestion would be to go to your local media source, whether it's an envelope company, back for magazine, or see what else, mail south, and that stuff up in your guys' neck. You may want to talk to them, say, hey, I'm going to do a billboard, interested in going in with me on, it says to look for my ad in the local Valpak, or in the mailbox. You might be surprised. You might get the guy, if he's a successful advertising product, he might be willing to do something with you, and it never hurts to ask. It does give you some flexibility in terms of where you put your offers. You want to put it on the entrance to a town, or a four-way stop, or a stoplight. It's got a lot of sit traffic. Just a couple key points there to keep in mind. Now, let's talk about the internet, because everybody's being told by everybody we know that you got to be on the internet, and you got to be doing some form of advertising. And I agree with that. In Pete's line of the work, it's absolute necessity. You have to have a presence. He's got a wonderful website. And what we do, you want to have a web presence, but don't get trapped into people selling you a bill of goods about they're going to get you maximum exposure on the net. They're called search engine optimization companies, and that acronym is SEO. What they say they're going to do is get your name up on top of the Google list or higher up. Be real careful with that. Same thing on web design. There is such a broad spectrum of what you have to pay or what you possibly could pay in that arena. So I would tell you to stay away from the companies that are going to tell you that they're going to help you promote your site promoted by a lot of buttons, and that's what's been selected. I'd have an opportunity through a local host that hosts your site that might be promoting. But it's more important on your in the keywords in your, if you have a small website, and by what's small, you can have anywhere from, 1 to 4 pages or 1 to 5 pages in what we do, and I think that's more than adequate. We've got a couple of really big operators down here in Florida where I live, and you look at these guys' websites, and they're real nice, but they're not any more than 4 or 5 pages. Well, there's only so many ways you can tell our story. So my caution to you is don't get sold a bill of goods you overspend on. When on a screen I put down relatively, it is, I'm not contradicting what I just got through discussing, but it is relatively expensive if you watch where you're going. Again, you want to do some web pages. It does make us look more professional and contemporary. However, our target audience, which again, I'm just using my market and the part of the world that I operate in, my target audience is 40 and over. They're the people that respond to my solicitation, and they're not always the most internet savvy. So you got to keep that in mind. Your costs can be sky high if you're not careful. You got to keep in mind, like so he can sell anywhere in the world. So he doesn't care if his advertising or his internet presence market specific because it has no geographical boundaries. Whereas we all operate within certain geographies, I'm sure. Keep in mind that the average amount of time that an individual spends on a stream is about 5 seconds. And that's the one of the latest stats, internet, all the prevalent internet sources. They all say it's 45 seconds. Massive competition. Everybody and their brother, you don't believe it, go to Google when you get home and type in power washing. So it's catch-22, you're damned if you do and damned if you don't. Because if you're not, they're definitely not going to know about you.
Hey, Dennis.
Yep.
We're about to run over, and it's my fault because I took a little bit of time to set up, but I've got to get going. We're keeping a strict schedule right now. We greatly appreciate you speaking. People have been taking a lot of notes. We're going to be passing out and emailing the presentation, and I really appreciate you taking the effort to take the time and talk to us today.
All right, if anybody's got any questions as a follow-up, feel free to contact me on my email address if you give it to them to call, and I'll be happy to answer you guys' questions about what you should be paying for your rates in your local market and what my recommendations are for what you should do, and see if I can be of help that way. I hope you have the conference, and sorry I wasn't there. I hope to see everybody the next go around.
Yeah, I appreciate you, Dennis. Thank you. I'm going to end the call, and I appreciate it so much.
Bye now.
All right, bye-bye.
Thanks, Dennis. How about a hand for Nicole? You didn't even serve this one, did you? It's amazing what this woman can do.
It was, this guy was so adamant about giving this presentation. He was...
It broke his heart not to be here today with you.
It really did.
So.
And I told him 3 times, well, we'll just do something else. No, I really want to give this presentation. So I appreciate y'all listening. So, but thank you very much. So.
We're going to vary from schedule a little bit, and we're probably going to end up eating lunch earlier because I'm hungry. You guys understand? Yeah, I understand. Okay. What I'd like to do is have Ron come up and talk to you for a couple of minutes, and I'm going to push Henry's presentation off till right after lunch. We'll make this up before the end of the day, okay?
5 minutes, then we're going to lunch or what?
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic.
Well, I don't know. I've got to make sure they're ready for us.
Okay, well, let me know.
Okay, we'll do.
How you guys doing today? Everybody good? Who here doesn't know who I am? Anybody? Okay, Ron Musgraves. I own Pro Power Wash in Phoenix, Arizona. It's a completely commercial. I don't do any residential, so guys don't get a lot of guys these things asking how to wash a roof. Commercial roof, more than happy to tell you there's like 5 different types, but I know nothing about washing a house. I want to talk to you guys today about some stuff, Delco cleaning systems and Sunbrite. As some of you guys know, I've been doing these roundtables with other contractors and distributors all over the country for the last year. Started last year in February in Alabama. Anybody here go to Alabama this year, last year? Anybody go to Vegas? Anybody here went to Vegas? Oh, one went to Vegas, okay? Vegas was last month. We've been doing these pretty much every month, and Robert and Sunbrite, stand up, Robert. Robert from Delco is going to give this machine away in Texas in November at his roundtable. No strings attached other than you show up. In Myrtle Beach in September, Sunbrite is going to give a similar skid away, and all you got to do is show up. Sunbrite, all you got to do is be a customer of theirs and attend one of these roundtables. Of course, everybody today is going to be a customer tomorrow because he's going to have a store. How does the $50 work again, Tracy, so they know?
Pete, answer that.
Pete, how's the $50 tomorrow work for the store tomorrow?
Okay, we changed the coupon on that, so let me just fill you in. You can spend the $50 tomorrow at the store. It's a 50% off coupon on anything you buy up to $100. If you spend $150, $50's all we're going to cover on that coupon. But if you come in and spend $10, you're going to get $5 off of it. It's up to you on how to use it. For those of you who don't find something you want to buy tomorrow, you want to shop online, what we did is we extended this for an extra week. You can shop online using the coupon. In that situation, it's a little different. You must spend $100. You will get $50 off because my web store won't let me play little games. So the bottom line is you use it tomorrow, it's 50% off. You use it next week, it's 50% off on a purchase of at least $100. Okay? Is that clear as mud?
So that offer's good even beyond tomorrow, is what you're saying?
It's good even beyond tomorrow, which is better than what we told you. So. No, wouldn't that be sweet?
I was looking at that.
You can win that. You can win that machine.
The reason I wanted you guys to mention this is these two guys are friends of mine and associates for years now.
No, we're fierce competitors.
And they came and they helped. And really, what they're doing is they're allowing these meetings because they're doing them all. Everything that NCE pretty much that I'm promoting and behind, they're doing it with me. And they're helping out along with other ones. We had about 5 or 6 other distributors and purveyors step up in Vegas. Now what that is it's giving you guys to come here for $50, where a seminar like this might be worth a lot more than $50. Anybody have an idea what a seminar like this costs if somebody wants something similar? Not you, Pete, because this is yours. Anybody got anything? How much? $2,500. $2,500. What was it?
Real estate.
Real estate. Real estate seminar, 2 days, 1 day, week?
Anywhere from 1 to 3.
1 to 3 days? Okay, $2,500. And this is what we're trying to do. We're trying to keep these costs down for you guys to come and participate at these events. Now, if you guys want to look for these events, go to nationalcleaningexpo.com. They're all listed there. Today we've been webcasting this one, so you can watch them in the future as well. Obviously you can't get to every event. It's impossible. I challenge you guys to go to the events that are closest to you. The next one is going to be at EnviroSpec North in Milwaukee, and that's in June. Then July 31st is Florida, and then from there I don't know the dates, but I know September and November are going to be Myrtle Beach and Robert out in Dallas. What's the town we're actually in? Fort Worth. Okay, Fort Worth. And then we're going to be doing Phoenix again. We don't have the Phoenix date set yet, but it's going to be sometime stuck in between there. Might even be earlier.
Is there one going to be in Charlotte in May?
Charlotte in May. We're going to talk about that next week. But you got something going on with B&Ps in May, right? That's the presentation we're hearing today.
Yes.
Okay. Fantastic.
That's April.
That's April 30th.
That's April 30th.
April
2 weeks
30th.
away, basically.
April 30th. The end of the month. Guys, I want to say something as a contractor, because sometimes, in the disbelief of distributors, they want to, when distributors start talking about environmental stuff, all people think is they want to sell equipment. Okay? Years ago, I think Robert will tell you that was his stance. I think he was out there, obviously a businessman, he wants to sell equipment. Now, everybody realizes that when you have stringent laws or stringent BMP practices, it's putting guys out of business, and that's not what we're trying to do. There's ways to comply that are a lot easier. Robert, I'm not going to talk about that, but Robert is going to talk about that. And if you don't think that you need to get behind, Phoenix has had a BMP written for over 18 years. If you don't think you need to get behind the guys that are writing those, they did the same thing 18 years ago as they did in Gwinnett County, did in Phoenix. It was too stringent, and nobody could wash. Now they have a responsible one, and contractors like myself can go out there and make a living and do it fairly responsibly and still cost efficient. You guys got any questions for me? We ready for lunch, Pete, or no?
Yeah, we can go to lunch. Everybody, make sure that you